Thanks for joining us with Pool Elementary, and today we're going to be showing you how to manually vacuum your pool and the things that you're going to need to be able to do it. First thing you're going to need is a 1.5 inch pool vacuum hose, and as you can see, it's got two ends on it. One of these ends is going to spin and the other one's going to be stationary. So the one that spins is actually going to be the one that goes on the vacuum. And the next thing you're going to need is an actual manual vacuum. As you can see, this style is for vinyl pools and does work on fiberglass pools. Or in the picture, there's also a different style vacuum that you can use for gunite pools, and those as well will work on fiberglass. Also, these skimways or skim vac vacuum attachments, basically these will actually adapt right onto the hose itself, and then these will actually go right over top of your skimmer basket and into the skimmer. And what this does is it allows, if you're vacuuming larger debris such as leaves and pine needles, to be collected in your skimmer basket rather than going through your plumbing and then you having to clean out your pump basket constantly. If you don't have large debris in your pool and it's just a fine silt or sand on the bottom, you can actually get away without one of these skimways or skim vac plates and actually just put the attachment directly down into the skimmer, into the suction hole. But I highly recommend one of these skimmer plates over the actual skimmer basket if you're going to be doing any type of vacuuming of leaves, pine needles, or large grass. All of your manual vacs attach to the hose and to your telescopic pole in the same manner. So on your telescopic pole, it does have a couple holes in the end of it, and these just slide into the end and have two snap plugs that you just press in and it snaps into place. On the vacuum hose itself, you want to find the end that actually spins. This is the end that's going to go onto the vacuum, and you can just actually push this on, and then our vacuum's ready to go. Before we actually get started vacuuming on this pool, I'm going to show you in the pump house a quick way to turn off the main drain so you can get full suction on your actual skimmer. With our actual sand filter system, we're going to vacuum with just the actual multi-port valve on filter and use the filter to take this stuff out. But on the front of the pump, coming on the suction side, you normally have two lines coming in. One's going to be for the drains and one's going to be for the skimmers. So when we vacuum using the skimmer, we'd like to turn the actual main drain line off so we have full suction coming from our skimmer line itself, and it'll help make it easier to vacuum. So on these ones, they're actually labeled. This side's skimmer, this side's drain. So what we'll do is we'll turn the valve and shut off that drain line. Now we've got full suction on our skimmer. Another thing we want to do before we start vacuuming is actually check our pressure gauge on our filter. We don't want to start vacuuming if our actual pressure of our filter is above 5 pounds of its starting point. And the starting point meaning when the actual sand filter has been backwashed or you just cleaned your cartridge filter. As you can see on this one, it starts at about 20 pounds when this filter is clean, and it's only up about 1 or 2 pounds. So in this case, we can go ahead and just vacuum. But if this pressure gauge was actually 10 pounds above 20 and to the actual point of having to backwash, we should probably clean the filter before we go ahead and do the vacuuming, just because there's so much dirt in this pool. By the time we got back, this thing would be 20 pounds higher than when it starts. Now that we got full suction on our skimmer, you can actually see how hard it's drawing. So we know we've got plenty of suction to do our vacuuming. And the next step, now that we've got our hose attached to our vacuum and our vacuum onto our extension pole, is we're going to want to get all of the air out of this line. So we'll go ahead and feed the vacuum down into the deep end and extend our pole out. And then we're going to actually take the vacuum hose itself and we're going to feed it straight down into the water And what this is going to do is it's going to push any air out of the line. And that way when we go to attach the vacuum to our skimmer, we don't have a hose full of air just going straight to the pump, and that would make the pump lose its prime. So once we've got our air out of our line, you can see there's water coming out of our actual vacuum hose. And then once this is attached to our actual vacuum hose, you can go ahead and make sure we've got the rest of the water out of it. And then this will just go right in to our actual skimmer and suck down over top of that skimmer basket. Get a good seat in there. If you don't have one of these and you're just going to use the actual vacuum hose, you're going to want to pull your skimmer out of the actual skimmer itself, and then we'll go ahead and make sure all the water's out of our line, and then we can just feed it through the skimmer. And then we'll just take this hose and actually put it right into the hole, the suction hole on the skimmer itself. And then that gives us really good suction. So, and that's kind of it. You can do it this way as long as you don't have a ton of debris like leaves and bigger things in here, because chances are if you do and you suck them through this vacuum, they could plug up your actual pool plumbing. So don't want to do that. And as you can see, it does a pretty good job. It's actually sucking up that stuff really good. So now that we're all done vacuuming, go ahead and lean or pull up against somewhere safe so it doesn't run away on us. And in order to get that vacuum hose off of that actual skimmer basket with that plate on there, that skimway, we need to actually turn the pump off. So coming in to turn the pump off so we can release that vacuum hose, and as you can see, our pressure went sky high. So it was at 22 pounds over here, and now it's at 34. So it's always good to make sure that your filter doesn't have over 2 or 3 pounds on it before you start vacuuming from where it starts, or you could end up with a lot of pressure on that filter. So go ahead and turn our pump off, and while we're here, I'm going to go ahead and open back up that drain line we turned off. If you don't have valves, you can always just vacuum from the skimmer with the actual drain going too. You're just gonna have to take it a lot slower, and you're gonna have less suction. So now we can easily release our vacuum hose. Take that off, and we can also check our basket to see if there's anything in it. And as you can see, there wasn't much bigger debris on the bottom, so we could have actually just got away with running the hose down into the skimmer to the suction end of it. But if you have them, use them. Now that everything's put back together, our valves are open, it's time to backwash this filter. So we definitely put a lot of stuff into the filter, so the pressure is sky high. So we're gonna go ahead and roll out our backwash line. Either got a blue hose like this, or sometimes they're just hard plumbed right into the actual system, going to some type of storm drain, or just out somewhere on the other side of the house. And then we're going to take our multi-port valve, and we're going to go from filter 180 degrees to backwash. Then we'll go ahead and flip our pump back on. And what this is actually doing, so when this is on filter position, water's coming down the filter this way over top of sand that's filled up right here, leaving a layer of debris on the top of the sand and filtering out the water. So when we backwash it, what it does is it reverses the flow of the water. So the water's actually coming from the bottom of the filter, lifting all of that debris off the top of the sand up and out this backwash line. And most of these multi-port valves have an eyesight where you can actually see what the water looks like coming out. And as you can see, this water is definitely very milky. So basically we're gonna watch this until this clears up, or you can always go watch what's coming out the end of the line and until that's clear. But normally I'll backwash for at least 1 minute. Sometimes when it's higher like this, it'll take 1.5 minutes. But as you can see, it's already starting to clear up a bit. All right, our sight glass is clear. So we'll go ahead and turn off our pump. And then the next step is we're gonna rinse. So we're gonna wanna rinse for about 40 seconds. And that would be this position. And what that's gonna do is it's gonna clear everything that's in our lines in the filter to the actual multi-port valve and make sure we're not blowing a bunch of cloudiness stuff back into the pool. So we'll go ahead and rinse. Turn our pump back on. And we'll give it a good rinse for about 40-45 seconds. So now that we're rinsed, we'll turn our pump back off. We'll go ahead and move the multi-port valve back to filter. And we'll go ahead and turn it on. And now our pump is running through the filter and it's filtering again. And as you can see, our pressure is back down to about 21 pounds, which is a lot better than 34 where it was when we got done vacuuming. Thanks for joining us with Pool Elementary on our manual pool vacuuming video. And if you got anything out of the video, make sure you hit that like button and don't forget to subscribe to get access to all of our other pool videos, and we'll see you next time.